This was the Orange Revolution. In 2004, Viktor Yushchenko and Viktor Yanukovych ran for the Ukrainian presidential election. When Yanukovych was declared the winner of the election, the Orange Revolution began. It mainly centered around the country's capital, Kyiv. During this revolution, Yushchenko was poisoned, which was highly suspected to be from interference from Russia. This election was rigged, no doubt about it. Exit polls had Yushchenko winning, but somehow Yanukovych took the victory. Observers reported voter intimidation, ballot stuffing, and turnout numbers that didn't add up. The math was off. Statistical anomalies showed impossible voting patterns, especially in certain regions, and Kyiv erupted. Thousands took to the streets daily. Across the country, protests, sit-ins, and strikes sent one clear message: the people weren't buying it. The Orange Revolution was successful, and a revote took place where Yushchenko was declared the winner. He was made president in 2005. However, in 2010, Yanukovych ran again and won. But in 2013, he rejected a European Union's deal and rather chose to try to closer ties with Russia. This led to more protests, and in 2014, he was ousted. Russia then used his ousting as an excuse to annex Crimea, and conflict began between eastern Ukraine and Russia. With tension increasing around late 2021, on February 24, 2022, Russia launched a large-scale military invasion of Ukraine. Since then, there have been thousands that have been killed or injured, homes and villages have been destroyed, and over 15 million people have been either externally or internally displaced. Over 270,000 refugees have been admitted to the United States since then.
Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Today I sit down with a Ukrainian American high school counselor, a Ukrainian American student, and a Ukrainian student at Westmont High School in the Chicago suburbs to explore how their lives have been impacted since the war began. Through their stories, I hope to spread empathy and awareness, shedding light on their experiences, challenges, and resilience in the face of ongoing conflict.
My name is Vasilisa Kirichenko. I'm in 9th grade and I'm 14 years old.
My name is Larissa Zalisko. I am one of the school counselors here at Westmont High School and also the department coordinator. I have worked here at Westmont High School for almost 20 years now.
My name is Natasha Shamarina Edge. I am 18 years old and I am a senior at Westmont High School.
I know that when you were younger, you lived in Ukraine. What part of Ukraine did you live in, and how was that experience?
I lived in the capital city, Kyiv. It was a very good experience because it's such a culturally rich city, so I learned a lot about the arts and history, and there was just a lot to learn from the environment. It was a great place to spend some years of my childhood.
I visited Ukraine with my husband in 2011. It was an amazing opportunity. It was a chance for me to see what I consider my home country. I visited Odessa first in the southern part of Ukraine, and we traveled to Crimea. From Crimea, we traveled up to the capital of Ukraine, Kyiv.
I lived in Cherkasy, it's a city in the center of Ukraine.
Now, what was your favorite part about living there?
Favorite part of living there? People, it's one of the most important things to me.
Yeah.
And it's why understanding what people speaking about, it's my favorite part. And actually how people act, it's close to my heart because it's how I grow up and people act to me and I act to them.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people can be misinformed or not know what's going on at all, and especially having such a large student population of Ukrainians who are being affected by this. I think it's very important for the student community to just understand like how it can affect people and how they can support their peers through this time. So we've had 2 assemblies collectively spreading awareness. We also had a powder puff game where we raised around $2,000 to support Ukraine.
So I know you went down to Washington, D.C. and spoke to the House of Representatives. Could you describe what that experience was like?
I definitely think it was a very empowering experience. It was good to be able to be on the front lines of the battle in terms of how the United States can respond and support Ukraine. For the first few days, we discussed different points that we want to present to the congressmen. We all kind of like divided and conquered to our different states, but it was very proud to be able to encourage our Congressman Sean Casten to co-sponsor the House Resolution 149 to condemn the kidnapping of Ukrainian children by Russia.
I have family members here, so they make an invite to us. My older brother was like, I don't want to go. I was just like, what you decide, it's okay. And we train, go to the Poland. Then from the Poland we by plan go to the United States and came to Chicago.
Living my daily life was a challenge. I was in some parts worried about my family, but also as a counselor here at Westmont High School, I would have to say it was the most difficult time I've ever experienced as a professional.
So, what was your life like immediately following the invasion?
I will say it was like time stopped to me because I were living in the basement like 6 months because our city wasn't in big danger because we don't close to the Russia, but we have road to the capital of Ukraine, so sometimes Russian were attack this road. My parents just was worried about us and their lives, so we were living in the basement, we were sleeping, and just every time. I remember first day when the war started, like sleeping, everything okay, and my mom opened a door at 6 a.m. in my room, and I'm just wake up from this sound because I think I wasn't good sleep because it was explosion because Russia was attacking military objects near our city. Because I don't think when something is good, your mom will came to your room and say, pick all the stuff you need and go to the first floor. At the night I start crying because I didn't understand how I should feel. You know, it's just scared you. You don't know how to act. You don't know what you can say, how people will react to your words and everything like this, and you don't know how to react to their words.
Since I do have family that live in places where it can be very dangerous for them, my grandmother and my nieces and nephews were running to bomb shelters all the time, and just knowing that my family is across the seas suffering every day was very difficult to cope with. Through fundraising and going to different protests and events, it made it easier for me to have somewhere to take out this energy on. So the Ukrainian Congress Committee of the United States, you can find on their website, they have it divided by states, and you can find different protests going on. In Chicago, there's always events that you can attend. I've been attending them almost every week since the war began.
I absolutely wish that on a small level, people would reach out to their representatives in the government and ask them to support Ukraine. President Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, has set up his own website, United 24, where people can donate. They can donate a little bit of money, they can donate a lot of money, and they can designate where that money is to be spent. So they can say it's to be spent on medical costs, it can be designated to be spent on infrastructure, or it can be designated to help the war efforts.
Attention from the One News will move, and I wish that this war in Ukraine and people never move from this. First thing is attention, because if we have attention, people could know about us. It's for what we speaking about the war. It's why we have so much interview about just simple civilian people from Ukraine. It's why now you're recording me or other people from Ukraine. Because we need attention. The world should know what country terrorist Russia did to other countries that they occupied, get war, because some of them need help too, but still world don't react to this, and to Ukraine sometimes too.